coming at you live, bundled up, day 9, where long underwear was required even by Rick.
I almost did the triple pants like my granddad.
Yeah. Just
Be like day 60 for me, but yeah.
Dockers on Dockers. No. I'm just going the merino. I've only cracked out my super thick thermals when I was on the tractor clearing the driveway on the day it was pretty damn windy. So.
I don't know. I wear them every day, so it doesn't matter.
Because that was like, if I'm moving, I can get by. But when you're just on the tractor for hours, I had a lot of layers on and still got
cold.
Yeah.
Like, you get really cold working. I mean, that's,
like just stationary sitting in it. Yeah.
And then you're up in the wind.
And even like direction, because I kind of like did a stripe down the driveway. Mm-hmm. Or no, up first. I was like, oh, it's not that bad out. And then the second lap down the hill towards the wind was like,
oh, yeah, it's
this
that bad.
kind of sucks. Yeah. Like now that my hands and my face were getting the brunt of it.
Yeah. No, it's.
We are in the thick of the Arctic ice storm that hit us on like the 27th, right? And then we got a little bit more snow. Everybody's back in the shop today. Last week we were kind of
pretty skeleton crew.
Yeah, the first couple days especially.
I actually went and unrolled hay yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday I think it was.
It was crazy windy.
Well, it wasn't the wind. No, I got up and I went to cut the bale and bale stayed at the top of the hill and I just went right down it. I was like, there's no stopping this.
No.
I don't know how I'm going to get back to where my tractor and my bale is. I was like, this is really dumb.
Yeah,
take that ice axe that's over there.
So no, I should have brought my snowshoes. I did order some cleats.
Yeah, I actually really want to get some. They had a guy come in earlier to get that pouch for his yak tracks, but I'm going to get some of the. What's the other one, Logan? We were talking about them. They're actually they have like a mini crampon on the bottom.
Yeah. So the problem is I want to be able to go in and out with them.
See, I just want them when I'm in the thick of it, like.
Well, yeah, but what happens when you go inside?
I just take my boots off. Yeah.
I don't do that. I mean,
for these
lace
situations,
my boots up
right?
in the morning, and I don't take them off till I'm done.
I mean, for these situations, I would just take them off.
So I found React tracks that are chains instead of the coils, so I ordered those. We're going to see how those work. Although it'll probably melt by the time they get here because it's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Yeah. And if we have another snow, I've already got like 4 pallets of hairspray ordered, and I'm just going to stand outside the house and let it rip. I want my own ozone hole so we don't get snow at our house anymore.
Our own ozone hole.
Yeah. That's what they said they called it, right? In the 80s was the hairspray.
Yeah. Was the hairspray.
I did see something really cool, and then I didn't order them because same thing. I was like, well, crap, these aren't going to be needed. I found a pair of mitts that are mostly leather. And they have a zipper pocket on the back of the mitt, sized to fit a hot hands.
Oh, that would be interesting.
It was like, that's really nifty.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And they were kind of gauntlet-like. I've got some...
I've never been cold enough where good gauntlet mittens don't just do the job.
Yeah. Well, and for me, I've got Canada Goose gauntlet shells. They're like Gore-Tex. And then I can wear whatever liner I want. Yeah. I've done fingerless wool gloves, a little more dexterity, big, thick Polartec gloves. But I was like, that would be really handy for the tractor, right? Where you're just...
Yeah.
Hands are just... But I thought those were really cool. It was just a little zipper pocket size for a hot hand.
Yeah.
You know, you always hear about socks disappearing, but Logan and I discovered something. Apparently, if you have nice wool convertible mitts, those disappear too. Because we both were like, I used to have those. Where are they?
I don't. We have so many gloves. I don't even know.
I had some nice like Fox River, which has been in the sock and wool glove game for a long time, that were fingerless with a flip over mitt that was lined, and those things were pretty toasty. Not great in the wind, but like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've not had those before, but I have lots of gloves and mittens and stuff like that. So
yeah, I really want to get the more crampon style hiking aids. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes because we were talking about going up like Snow Creek,
which would have been pretty treacherous, I think.
Yeah. I mean, because like
right now I don't even know what you do.
Yeah. No, like you said, if you fell in the right place, you just live there until it gets above freezing.
Right? Yeah, I don't even know. Like I said, it was.
I've taken my 12-pound dog out, and he's pulled me like I'm a sled the last couple days.
I was talking to a buddy yesterday that he has a propane heater in his well house, and he said it was funny. He'd been wearing like Yak tracks at work, got home, took them off, was going to take 2 propane tanks out, started to go down. I realized I'm over 40. I've got 2 20-pound tanks. I'm just going to sit down, And he said, me, and then what I didn't think about was the 2 tanks slid all the way to the house. You know, like they're like coming down the hill behind him.
I mean, I didn't have 2 tanks, but it was me and a knife and a ride down the hill. It was pretty eventful.
You just sat down though.
Yeah, no, that's what I did. But I started and I just sat on my butt and went till I got to a place to stop. And then the sheep have made a pretty good stair step up the hill that I could ooch myself over to and then get up to there and get up to kind of where the road is. Yeah. And
some of your pastures are rather bowl-like. It would be like, where's Matt?
Right.
And it's just like, you know, you just can't get out.
Right, yeah, for sure. I have a couple spots. This isn't one of them, but I have a couple spots where I could have been stuck at the bottom of something for days. It feels like
throw a rope. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been sending flares and shit.
Yeah, no, it's been wild because like once it got warm enough to get that little bit of a glaze on it, like you could walk across our yard a week after it snowed and like not even making a print.
I don't sink it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a little bit.
Which is kind of crazy when you think it's been on the ground for a week. Like,
It's also crazy that it just kept getting colder. Like when it first came through, like the day after it came through, I went for a long walk. It was like cold, but as long as you're moving, it was fine. And like 2 days later, I was like, no, I'm not going out there.
No, this weekend, the wind was just insane. We got that little bit of, another inch of snow. And like we had like weird little drifts of the new snow from the weekend on the ice because the wind was just like constant Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad yesterday with a little snow on top of it. You could get a little traction if you didn't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
But part of what's happened is it's been just at freezing for like an hour. And you just melt a little bit of that, and then you freeze it up hard at night, and it just gets worse every day.
Yeah, which actually makes driving. I'm sure you like coming into work. You've got a long drive. I've hit a few spots where it was like, holy crap, I need like goggles. Like
the glare.
Yeah.
My wife, we got her out the first day, which was kind of a whole thing to start with, and then that night, just enough had melted off and refroze that she called me and she's like, I got stuck again. She got out eventually, but she was like, I had a hard time getting out again.
Yeah.
She needs new tires. She's at that point. But it was like, I was like, did you get all 4 tires back on the ice? And she was like, no, I literally got out and walked around the car. I was like, what is keeping me from getting out of this spot?
Yeah.
No, it's for sure been a mess. Yeah. And I mean, that it just gets exacerbated. Like, we were working today. We had a few people in end of last week, but like, our webbing supplier has not shipped since it's been 6 days.
Because in all reality, we kind of dodged the worst of that. Like Nashville through like Western North Carolina.
So yeah, they're coming out of Tennessee. Our stuff that's coming out of the Northeast is. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even heard responses on. Hey, where is the stuff we ordered 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever? And they're just.
I sent a certified letter to Blacksburg, and being Virginia Mail, it had to go through North Carolina. It got delivered today. I sent it on Tuesday before the snow.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you like.
So like I said, Laurel's got stuff that was shipped the week before the snow came, and it still shows in transit to Nashville. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm assuming most folks that are listeners would just reach out to us, but yeah, we've had a few people like, hey, where's my package? Be like, dude, we had half a crew that could make it to the shop for 3 days last week. And
if that, we didn't.
And our mail was just like.
Yeah. Not to throw our guy under the bus, but the craziest thing I've ever heard was the conversation with the UPS guy and you. I didn't know that was an option. So you want to fill in listeners on
he was just like, hey, we're not going to be out for at least 3 days.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I can go down your driveway. And he's like, we're 3 days behind. They didn't ship for 2 days.
Yeah. More or less, I'm focusing on town. Best of luck.
Right. And then Wednesday, I met him with whatever, because I came in and shipped a little Wednesday.
Because I thought that was kind of like, those guys are the road warriors. They're out in it, but it was just like, oh, sorry, man. Going to stay in town.
Oh, we didn't get mail. I mean, rain so sleet or night. We didn't get mail for like a week.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Asterisk. If it's all 3 of those things, we're out. Like,
Right.
The or is an important word.
Yeah.
Or, not and.
Of course, it's been really bizarre because even on Saturday, I saw, obviously folks listening, watching are all over the country, but Bedford County, pretty good sized county. North is the mountains.
Yeah.
South of the county is the lake. But this last batch, like I saw the local weather guy on Facebook was like, this is not a mistake. North of 460, you got like an inch of dust.
Right.
South of 460, 6 to 8 inches, like, or more. Yeah.
Right. And 460 is the dividing line.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that, it's the mountains that didn't get it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That was the.
Well, we
that
were
was the
out
crazy
Friday,
part.
there was chances, got home, nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
Woke up Saturday, wasn't snowing. And then I looked closer, was like, it got a little taller. Crap. Man, I thought we dodged it. But yeah.
Not the case.
I will say that back to you saying we kind of dodged it. I shockingly don't know anybody who really was without power locally. Like, I mean, people in other places were, but around here I was shocked.
Oh no.
That level of ice, I thought
we have friends in Tennessee that are still out of power.
Yeah.
And actually have a family member that he works remote, has been out for a week of internet, and he called his provider and they were like, we have no estimate for your service area. And so he's been having to go somewhere else to work because, you don't really get to not be at work when you work from home. Right. But he has had no internet in his job. He can't really do like a hotspot or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's certainly been a mess. We didn't have water for one day.
Yeah.
Where we had not even a day. Well, switch froze and had to take it apart and dethaw everything and
my buddy that lives
sealed back up and put back together.
Within spitting distance of the highest peak in Virginia, they were out of power for like a day and a half, he said. So
yeah, we haven't had power issues. Like I said, we did have a water issue, but that got rectified.
Well, thankfully we didn't have travel issues because Matt was coming back east.
Coming home from I landed in the midst of the start of the storm.
Yeah. So
last flight in, I think they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they canceled everything else coming into Roanoke.
We talked about you were heading a shot on the last one. So besides the spectacle of debauchery that is Vegas, what did you see?
Spectacle of debauchery that is Vegas.
I had a dog named that once.
Yeah, so
name.
interesting things like my little charger pack thing.
Yeah, the canteen.
So they were actually there.
Really?
And they had a bunch of kind of neat stuff.
Yeah.
Different light and accessories and fans and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I saw some rando influencer I didn't follow had a fan from them that you literally just stick on top of it, and then it has its little tripod base.
Right, it has a little has a little tripod mount to it, so you can put a little like a DJI kind of the Osmo little tiny tripods on it. Yeah. They had some neat stuff, some lantern stuff, some fan stuff. There was just a bunch of different things that they made for that was kind of interesting. I don't know if it's anything I can't live without, but it was kind of neat.
I think I'm going to pick one up for my bike tour because I got some really old Goal Zero remote chargers, and they've just got a lot of cycles on them, and that technology has obviously gotten improved,
changed
multiple times,
sure.
But and aesthetically they just look cool.
No, I'm with you on that. Relative to the Overland stuff, Turtleback was there, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Really?
Had a trailer there.
That is. They were our neighbors at Expo.
Yeah, and there's been, there's some interesting hardware stuff we ran into from Fidlock, magnetic hardware stuff that was kind of cool.
But you guys can probably assume that's the things we geek out on, and those guys have got their finger on the pulse of all the cool little Fidlock stuff, and
they do some neat things. They have some really interesting ideas. So that was pretty cool. As far as actual gear goes, and this is probably not interesting to most of the world, but Garmin came out with a new rangefinder and it's monocular, so there's a bunch of cool rangefinding binos out there, but this actually goes at dusk or low light goes to 6,000 feet, good light goes to 4,000, which I never understand why that makes sense, but to the ground, to a tree, whatever, it's got different ranges that it goes a very a long way. But that wasn't the interesting part. The interesting part was when you range, you can drop a pin at the place you ranged to. So if you need to go find that spot, you can then go to that, you can route yourself to that spot.
That's pretty cool.
So crazier is it goes into satellite mode in excess of its own distance. So you can range 5 miles away via the satellite, mark the pin on where you want to get to, and then it would route you to that pin, and it will zoom out and show you a topo map inside the thing. Of all of Nevada, and then show you where that pin is that you're going to in whatever.
You lost me at one point. So I'm standing on top of Sharp Top.
And then it dumps all that information into your map.
Your Garmin app. Yeah. So I'm standing on top of Sharp Top, and I map do I have to be able to see the point that I'm dropping the pin? Because
so you can technically zoom out and drop a pin to something you can't see, I believe.
Okay.
And it will give you a range. But like from Sharp Top, to my house, which would exceed the limits of most rangefinders.
Yeah, I could drop a pin.
You technically could drop a pin to my house, and then it would route you from Sharp Top, or it could route you from Sharp Top down to my house, or a direct route, and keep you on track, and it would dump that information back to your watch.
That's really cool. I'm kind of intrigued.
They were crazy. I mean, they just did, and I'm probably not even providing half the information. I was just mind-boggled at all the things. I was like, I don't have a use case for the over 2,000 yards or whatever meters or whatever it is. It would be interesting if some of that stuff that drops pins is interesting if you were, if you're a backcountry hunter or something where you can, if you shot something, you could range to it, drop the pin on where it was shot. And not have to remember find, and then, track your location to it. That would be, I can see a use case for that pretty seriously. Well, ranging something 4 miles away.
Right.
I don't know that I have a use case for that because I think I could probably zoom in on a topo map, but it was neat.
Just maybe a survival situation. If you just had a landmark, again, if you're out there and you injure yourself or something or you just get turned around to be able to look and be like,
well, I'm not
able to say I'm 4 miles from
XYZ.
Assuming you've got comms.
But. And also, I think, not to say that it's necessarily a bad thing because it's a perishable skill set, but that's essentially like replacing triangulation or a handrail / backstop for land nav.
Yeah.
Where some 100%. Courses I've done teach a backstop where it doesn't matter where you are. You just need to know this ridge, that water, body of water, whatever, or a handrail if you're using it for a parallel. Instead, you just be like, right there's the pass.
Right.
Versus it being like, oh, I need to remember this drainage is my handrail to the west and the backstop is, XYZ. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, it was really interesting. Like I said, I can see
you said backcountry hunting, you get up in these ranges where you're taking, I have an old student that's a guide up in the Brooks Range and they shoot sheep. On the next mountain.
Yeah, a long way away.
You could be like, oh, we lost sight of him. He went down behind that boulder.
Right.
It's going to take you to that boulder.
That would be the. Yeah. Or you can certainly mark multiple points too.
Yeah.
Like where you shot if you needed a trail or something like that.
I saw some stuff about their dog things as well. I mean, pretty much everybody here at the shop's dog owner, dog lover, and that's a little more performance based. But that kind of technology is kind of blowing my mind about if you're a bird dog, you've got temperature, heart rate, and geotag, just all on the collar, is really cool.
Yeah. I don't remember running heart rate on their collar. They do some stuff with skin temp. Skin temp on dogs is not particularly great.
Yeah.
Not a super useful tool unless you had a lot of data behind that dog particularly.
Yeah.
Because the fur insulation to the skin.
Right. Yeah. You got to get down.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where all that stuff lands as far as, again, providing value. Now, the sat tracking, I will say I have GPS trackers on a bunch of dogs at my house, but that's a little different.
Yeah.
Livestock dogs that, want to know where they're on the farm, or if you've got predator pressure trying to come through a fence where the dogs are spending time, stuff like that is more what that's for.
Or Ella is just going on a foray.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that too. I mean, oh no, the fence is down. Where's she getting out?
Yeah.
Or we've got a tree on something. Oh my gosh, we've got to get that fixed in the back. That she wouldn't notice unless you.
Which, circling back, losing power sucks. I was glad we didn't lose a bunch of trees, right?
Oh,
that's what I was worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, if we would have gotten the ice, it would have been a train wreck.
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw places in West Tennessee where it looked like somebody came through with a chainsaw and just every third tree gets it, Yeah.
That's, for us, or for my life, that is the worst.
Yeah, it would have taken you a day to get out of your driveway.
It's not even out of the driveway. It's how many fences, how many, what do I have that's about to get loose, triaging what needs cut.
Yeah.
What are we just chopping off of fences and getting it out of the way so we can get to it? Can we get equipment to it?
Yeah.
Or we having to do that stuff by hand, getting hurt because the stuff that comes flying at you when you cut it off of fences, and the way it breaks, and the
tension
stuff it does.
stuff,
It's just it's an all a terrain wreck.
Yeah, and then you multiply it times 100 in an ice storm.
Like the most times that my wood cutting injuries have like almost all been, and none of them have been bad, but have, like all been cutting stuff off of fences where it's half on the fence and you're trying to limit and get it off, and it flips away you don't expect it to, or something attacks you. One thing that I'm always sort of amazed by is the preparedness or lack thereof of people. Because thinking about like, okay, we had it's really cold, tractors don't want to start. Do you have your shit? What do you have there? Oh, it's really icy out here. Do you have, Liz has got traction things for her boots. Do you, I mean, like the well's gone out. Okay, what do we do? Well, we had water stored and water ready. And so we were able to kind of get through, and then, okay, great. And get the well apart, pull the switch, get the switch thawed, get it back up and working, get it stuffed down in there, get the wellhead insulated. But, just dealing with stuff like that, stuff sliding off the side of the road, and getting out of the driveway, and can you get to town?
I mean, my neighbor doesn't listen to this podcast, but the other thing too is people that just like won't accept, like when it's best to just kind of like go back to your talking about being rescued, when it's best just to sit still. Like our neighbor just had to go get something and then almost rolled his vehicle coming back up the driveway. I mean, like 2 foot to the left and 2 foot back. He would at least have been on his side, probably on his top. And it was just like, there is nothing short of like somebody having a medical emergency that, you have to have.
Man, a case of ramen and a case of macaroni and cheese and a few fuel bottles will keep you from having to do a lot of things.
I mean,
like that always, like I can go to my truck and make it 2 days.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed. We actually, like, camp stove was set up on the camp table in the kitchen.
Right, no, it's us.
Never cracked it, like.
Right.
We've been running the propane heater just to be a little cozier.
Yeah, I mean, like, previous to us getting back, like, Liz had delivered a stove over to, Laurel and Josh just in case they had power issues, and made sure they had everything, and dropped off some, again, supplies for stuff like that. But it is interesting that, like I said, off the back of my truck, I can make it.
Yeah.
I can make it a few days at a minimum, maybe more than that, if I was serious and not be uncomfortable.
Right. No,
and not be cold, not be hungry, not be, like eliminate all those things.
Yeah. I mean, even on Tuesday, after I talked to you and you're like, yeah, no, we're just not gonna have anybody come in today after Logan came in. Logan and the cat just sat around and drank coffee for about a half a day on Tuesday.
Well, there's a lot of plowing that got done.
But I went out and like picked up a few things, but it was just like, nothing we had to have. But like in the thick of it, you see get on Facebook and all these people are like, "How's this road?" Terrible. An ice storm stretched from Virginia to Memphis just came through. Like during the storm, how's so and so road? A crap sandwich, like all of them, man. Right. Like what what do you have to do right now? That kind of just blows my mind. Like, we were like, oh, we're going to go to work, Tuesday afternoon after the driveway was clear and, power was still on, all that stuff. It was like, we don't have to leave. We could have sat there. We had 15 gallons of water ready to go. Like you said, food setting out.
Yeah, bathtubs full.
Yeah. Well, hey, we did make some progress and some made it to the end patches. Matter of fact, I have to tell you guys a really funny story. So Cam, who will refuse to be on camera, our production manager, Logan sent him the file for the made it to the end patches. And he came in and he was like, well, I did forget one important step in scaling these. We have the bottom half of one made it to the end patch that is 16 inches wide. He actually cut the logo out and gave it to us. It's pretty cool, but like was like, wow, these are going to be pretty hard to display in your vehicle or your
it's
backpack.
A placemat.
Yeah. Welcome mat at camp.
All right. Yeah.
But he's getting those cut, so we've got all your info, and we will have those out soonish, especially considering the timeline of the podcast. So
yes, considering the timeline of the podcast, very soonish. Yeah. No, all that's going well, and hopefully we get a warmish day so I can finish digging out mom and dad a little bit. And...
Yeah. The other thing I'll say is Logan and I, right before all this went bananas, we started a new video segment that we kind of hinted at in the last episode where we're going to run some like local trails as part of a bigger project. But Yeah, we went and did Gray Ledge. So if you haven't watched that video, go back, take a look at it. The full length, obviously, here on YouTube. We've got it on socials as well. But let us know what you think. If you like that project, it was a fun little half day. Just we literally met up, ran over there, ran the trail, and then
I think we've got a fun. We'll tease it. We won't give the full thing away, but a fun way of doing a bigger project out of some of those small local trails videos. So
yeah, that'll be entertaining. Plus the hidden page on the website.
Yeah,
I was going to say so.
Yeah,
if you're still listening, there's a hidden page on the site. We also started a broadcast channel on Instagram, which is like a behind the scenes chat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So definitely join up on that if you are into Instagram. But the hidden page, poke around, see what you can find. We got some stuff already loaded on there. We're still fleshing it out.
It's all new product stuff.
Yeah,
product stuff that's in the pipe or getting worked on.
Yeah.
And
Logan, when's this episode go live? Is it this week?
Yeah.
Oh, so this goes live
2 days.
Yeah, so this will be before they're like actually available, but you can get a teaser on there and some cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new products on there that'll be coming out.
Matt's been sharing some behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trying to get some content together on, like I said, new projects and things I've been working on and what that looks like, and things coming up, things that may not come to life. I don't know, but projects we're working on is definitely one of them. So
and we've got some content with the new stuff, and we'll be taking it out for some more adventurous activities. So
that'll be exciting. So that'll be if you've made it this long. There is a page with a few posts on there on stuff that...
And you can get to it a few ways. Poke around the homepage, maybe some of the non-product pages, stuff like that. So,
and technically a link in my Instagram, my personal Instagram, has
I forgot about that.
it. I think that's another spot you can find it.
Yeah.
I have an update because I'm realizing, I don't know what the timeline was, but 2 podcasts ago, I think, we talked about my vehicle problems.
Oh,
and things
yeah.
that were going on with that. And
Logan is becoming a mechanic.
And as Matt...
much faster than he anticipated.
As Matt predicted, which I agreed with his logic, but I was hopeful. It was not... I forget what I was even trying at that point, but it was not...
Thermostat?
Something to do with water temperature rating.
So it wasn't that, but we got it fixed. It was fuel injectors, and so...
all of them real bad. Let me not let you bury the plot there.
I've actually only done 4 of the 8 because it was such a pain in the ass. And so the next time that my friend is having a shop day, I'm gonna see if I can take it to his shop and do it there. It was gnarly. I'll spare all the details and just say the one thing that really made that a nightmare was I pulled them and I broke 2 of them while I was pulling them.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I've got to do all these. So I ordered the set. They came in. I already had them all off. So I was like, this will be as quick as I mean, I know it's going to be an effort, but it's like, this is going to be the quickest possible. It's already disassembled. Put the new ones on. Stick it in there.
Yeah,
it should be good.
Fuel rail back and let her rip.
And it came in.
Leave the covers off because I got to do 4 more.
No.
My wife took our other vehicle, functional vehicle, to work.
The functional vehicle.
And she's gone. I opened them up. They didn't come with clips, retention clips. And nice. 2 of the clips had broken, taking the other one off.
Yeah.
So I ran 2 miles to O'Reilly Auto, picked up clips, ran back, and installed it.
I would have been like, this fucker's going to sit another day.
I was for a while. And then
maybe I'd have taken a tractor if I was 2 miles away. I don't know.
But you have neighbors. I would have been like, you want me to buy you a coffee?
That's true. That would have been an option, I suppose.
Would you like a free Big Mac? Because I'm about to buy you lunch. 4-mile round trip by foot.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fun.
I just picture you like in your running shoes and like a mechanic jumpsuit. Like
the worst part was that I had already done like a pretty heavy lower body workout that day, thinking I'm not going to be running.
Right.
I've never been sore because I did like a bunch of squats and I ran, and then I was like standing weirdly over the hood of my car for such a long time, like on my tiptoes. I was like, my calves were sorer than they've ever been for like 3 days after that.
What have you seen the? I don't know if you've seen the Instagram guy that talks about buying a. I can't remember if it was a 7 Series, 5 or 7 Series BMW, or it was a, a high end Mercedes used, and he said people come in all the time wanting me to work on it. And I just tell them no, and he said they get a little mad at you, a little frustrated or whatever. And he says, but here's the problem. He said you got a really good deal on this thing. He said you bought it cheap. It's got a code. You bring it in, I pull it. It's $3,000. Well, it's $3,000. It's still cheap. I'm still put the $3,000 in it. Let it go. He said, and then you come in a couple months later. It's got another code. It's another $3,000. And he said, well, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. It's still not bad. And he said, so you do it. And he said, and then you come in the third time, and he's like, and then it's between $3,000 and $7,000 of work. And he said, and then you're mad at me because every time you come in here, it's $3,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, then you're upset because every time you roll in the shop, it's $3,000, and now you're mad at me. And he's like, and it happens every single time. So we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, we just won't work on them. I was like, oh my gosh. This is Logan, except Logan's out in a frozen parking lot changing his injectors himself, saving him the $2,000 part of the labor bill.
Yeah.
So that is something that I don't fully understand why this is, because I get it. Like, European cars were just cars that are not normal. People got to order parts. It's not their normal thing. It's more expensive. But what I don't get is every time that I have taken it somewhere and had parts quoted for it, whatever the shop quotes is like astronomically more than I can find like a legitimately good part on a British. Like 3 times the price. And I'm like, what is happening here, guys? Like, why? That's a weird thing.
I have to wonder if they're not getting them through some like mass distributor that just like slaps a price, where Atlantic British is like the Rover owners in the know, like you're going to a specific site.
But it's like, it's just weird when it's like, oh yeah, that's $300 on Atlantic British, which I know will be fitted. They check things, all that.
Yeah.
Or they're telling me it's going to be $700 for the parts and another $500 for labor at the shop. It's like, what is happening here?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, I get it. Like
I don't have your Rover problems.
Most people, I think, that are in this situation are like, I'll just fix it myself and learn from it and deal with it. Or they just have the money and it doesn't
just
matter.
throw it at it.
But they're not. They didn't buy an LR. They were the first owner of the LR3.
Yeah. That was the first guy. He had a factory warranty. He had a dealer.
Right. And then he sold it to you at a really good deal.
At Land Rover's,
an increasingly less good deal.
Right. That's basically what that's what this guy was talking about. I was
Land
like,
Rover dealership from here. I mean,
I don't even know.
Roanoke. Got to be Roanoke.
Did they have one though?
Or
They did.
Charlottesville?
Yeah.
But they closed a bunch. Like the Knoxville one was the pretty decent size.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, but because he's like there was a bunch of foreign, sort of high end foreign cars or expensive. Out by the Mercedes dealership, it was Land Rover and might even been like Land Rover, Porsche, something else. It was an odd conglomerate of dealers.
Yeah.
Will a dealer even touch it?
I don't know. Probably not at this point.
At that age.
Yeah.
I mean,
this age and just like this amount of like other people have done other work kind of thing. Like they,
just general cost of it. Because I know, like I did a starter on the Land Cruiser. I didn't actually do much of it, but it was done inside my garage. And it's like going back to your $700. Like, okay, so the starter was a few $100, whatever, $3. I don't remember what it was, but. And then, this clip broke and that broke, and then this bracket's jacked up, and, and okay, now we got to put, now we're putting, new bushings and all the new rubber bushings and all the injectors, and, it's like, well, it wasn't the 300. We had $550 in parts in it, and it technically needs another $400 in parts in it. We're just pretending like that doesn't exist for a $300 part that needed changed.
I think for your situation, you would probably do better to find like, you have these random, like there's the guy in Forest that is like a big Volkswagen guy and does some like older Toyota stuff. You need to find a shop like that. Right. That's like older Rovers, somebody that's his niche. He's got a graveyard, started out back, and
How angry do you think those guys are? Do you think they're just really mad? I would bet that they're just angry.
That or just like a little, like a disillusionment of just like, hey, listen, man, what's the most secure job in the world? A slightly vintage Land Rover mechanic.
Right.
Like,
No, that's true. That's true.
Do you specialize in Land Rovers that don't qualify for classic car status, but they're not currently being sold? You're never going to be out of work.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. That does make a lot of sense. Job security. Maybe I should talk to my kids about that. That's job security there for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like I could see myself being really disgruntled if, but L-Stocks are.
You're right.
He works on.
And it's funny because when we were going to look at the Land Cruiser,
he doesn't appear to be disgruntled.
But he was like, "Yeah, man. It's Toyota, but it's almost it's 20 years old. It still break."
No, 100%.
Yeah,
but he doesn't seem disgruntled,
no.
And he basically is, difficult. Things that are hard to work on. It's not a Chevy.
Yeah.
It's not a 6.0 Chevy, and everybody's got parts for it, and everybody can work on it. He's having to track stuff down and actually put some effort in, and changing a starter is not a 20-minute job. It's normally you'd think, oh, it's a starter.
Yeah. Right. But
this is 45 minutes. I could have this out in the parking lot of the
the
parking lot of the parts store and back in. Having done that before, I've changed starters in the parking lot of the parts store.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
But
with this, I would have been like, it would have taken me 2 days to change in the part, even if they had all the parts.
You care if I sleep here, man?
Right? Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to nap in the back of my truck to make this work.
Can we push this around back?
I sent a friend a Instagram post that said the first 2 days of a 20-minute project are always the worst. That's how I felt it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. You crawl, and then you're like, you look at shit and you're like, the starter's where?
Right. Yeah.
Well, what?
That had to start somewhere, right?
Shouldn't be up there. It shouldn't be underneath that.
I think that's when there were just engineers really like, we have to cram what, where, more and more stuff was required and the electronics and stuff. Because going back to my Toyota truck, you just took the fender liner out, and if you had a diesel suspension, you didn't even have to jack that thing up to change the starter.
Think about, again, 350 or 6.0 Chevys. You don't have to do anything but pull 2 bolts and stuff in the new one, a couple wires, and away you go. Of course,
that's an era where, even with my 2001 Tacoma, you open the hood, and there was stuff everywhere. I remember my dad having like a.
So I'm talking about newer Chevys than the Land Cruiser is.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. But my dad had an 87 or 88 GMC, and he could sit on the hood on the fender with his legs inside.
Yeah.
To work on it. So
I think I'm going back to older.
I'm never going any further. This 2018 is the newest thing I'll ever own. I've already decided.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I'm going backwards with. Maybe not Liz's DD or something. Maybe that'll come to her, but. I literally, if I sell my truck, I'm going to the 90s. Yeah, no, I think I'm going. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to go early 2000s. I think for the next one, but yeah. Well, I could get there too. Square body ish. Yeah. Something. I don't know, but I'm fighting a battle that I can change the fuel filter on myself. Yeah. Things like that. Stuff like that. So. Well, yeah. Well, hey, that was just to say. The last thing you heard, I was carless. I am currently with a car again. And I quote, running better than she ever has. It is. And on 4 cylinders. Yeah. Which may raise more questions than it answers. But I'm just saying. I was like, those fuel injectors really did something. And then I was like, I did change the thermostat, clean the throttle body, clean the mass airflow sensor. I've done several things. So who knows which one is responsible. It was the injectors. And just think about how much better it would be when you have all the injectors in it instead of half of them. Correct. Oh, shoot. Well, I think that's all the fun we got today, huh? Yeah. Well, hey, as always, thanks for watching, listening, and all that good stuff. We will be back in 2 weeks, another episode of the Blue Ridge Bonfire.